Everybody knows hustling, but no people know no business. That's why we're bankrupt. I don't hire potential. I don't even talk to people. Just call the guy who rented me the building and say, this is my last month here. Cried for days, didn't come out the house, isolated myself, spiraling downhill once again. And I used to read books in the janitor closet after I would sweep and mop bathrooms and the gym floors and just read. And all of a sudden the light started to...
Welcome to the Swedish Wealth Institute Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Wood. Today, I am joined by JayR McIntyre, also known as Tha Hood Motiv8tor. This is an amazing episode. We talk resilience, leadership, failure, faith, and what it takes to rebuild your life after everything falls apart. It's something that I am passionate about. It's one of the keys to success. We talk about the trauma, the bankruptcy, the mistakes, the shame, and the moments where you almost don't make it through. I really appreciate JayR. He opens up in this episode. He shares, and he'll share with you the challenges he had about growing up in violence, joining the army, serving in Iraq, Afghanistan, losing friends, dealing with PTSD, building an amazing security company, and then losing everything, going bankrupt, and having to once again rebuild his life. So you are going to learn what JayR learned about leadership from the Army, why real leaders perform even when no one is watching, how he built that security company with hundreds of employees and the pain of losing it, why he believes you have to get in front of your ugly instead of hiding your failures, and how he's now rebuilt himself through faith, discipline, built a massive social media following, built speaking, wrote books, and building the Hood Motiv8tor brand. We're going to learn the difference about hustle and real business, why potential is not the same as quality, and how JayR is turning his story into a full ecosystem of speaking, books, merchandise, coaching, curriculum, and legacy. I'm excited to share this lesson with you. Let's get into it. Tell me about your time in the Army. You got a Bronze Star.
Yes, I did. First of all, thank you for having me on your platform. And, I'm grateful just to be talking to someone international about something that's positivity that touches the whole world. But my time in the military, I left California, born and raised, to get away from turmoil and violence and gangs and all that good stuff. And the towers fell and I found myself in the United States Army. And I left one war and I joined another war.
Yeah, I was going to say, you left that challenge, so you went to war instead to chill out a little bit.
I thought I would just go get 3 hots in the cot and, just do my 4 years and get out. As soon as I got into the United States Army, they sent me to Germany, and that just blew my whole mind. I lived in Germany for 3 years. I was in Schweinfurt, Big Red 1. And then right after I got to Germany, I want to believe 9 months later, we had orders to go to Iraq. And that's what changed my whole aspect of view of a man. When I went to Kuwait, I transitioned from a boy to a man. And when I say that, people see your age. No, I was 19, 20 years old. But the stuff I saw as soon as I got there, and it became so real. That first deployment, we was in deserts, 2003, 2004, 2005, desert uniforms. They sprayed our uniforms with this chemical so that we could keep the mosquitoes away. That was weird stuff on our skin. And then we got all these crazy shots, anthrax. And then we drove from Kuwait to Iraq, 36 hours, no doors, sandbags at our feet. It was very crazy. And a lot of people don't talk about these stories because a lot of them guys that were there are no longer here, or they don't even want to talk about it. But I'm very one to few that were fortunate to wear deserts. I'm 45, so I'm telling my age, but I was 19, 20 when I crossed that Kuwait barrier. We was in Kuwait for about 30 days trying to learn what we was going to see in Iraq. And right after that, we left in chalks going towards Iraq. And I was at Fob Summerall in Beiji, Iraq. And my whole world got flipped upside down, seeing what I saw, doing what I'd done, mission after mission. And on top of that, every time I come back from a mission, since I was lower ranked for the first 4 or 5 months, I was on detail to burn shit. So we would burn feces. We didn't have nowhere to pour it or put it. And we have
Yeah.
field sanitation rules and stuff like that, got to be downwind and all that. But we
Yeah.
would burn it, and we had to pour the JP8 oil and stir it and stir it for hours. And this is thousands and thousands of soldiers' feces that we would have to do that, then get ready to go eat, then get ready to go do mission. So
Yeah.
imagine all that as a kid, what I was going through. So that was my first couple of years in the
Right.
military. Then after my deployment, lost a lot of good guys, lost my best friend Curtis, went back to Germany, and my whole mind changed again,
Yeah.
because it was like we was just out here losing guys, taking people's lives, and now we back here trying to party and drink up all the beer and try to just wash away all our sins. And it was
Yeah.
crazy.
So I mean, as you said, most of the people who go through what you go through, they don't want to talk about it. Like that's in their rear view mirror.
Yeah.
How have you been able to get over it? Like, how can you so calmly have this conversation?
A lot of healing, a lot of modalities. I think the strongest warriors I don't think I know is the ones that say, I need help. And it took me a while. Like, so
Yeah.
that trauma connected to my past trauma from growing up and my mother dying of AIDS. And it was very hard. I did 77 days in the hospital 3 times,
Right.
hospitalization, 4 suicide ideations. I've been through a lot. I did
Yeah.
Bufo, Reiki, ayahuasca, all these things. And now I
Right.
figure that talking about it is my superpower. Like, it still
Yeah.
gives me irks and quivers, but at the end of the day, I have to tell my story, because first of
Yeah.
all, it doesn't seem like it should come from someone like me. And I'm an African American male. So it's like not a lot of us do things like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was it that, because you mentioned Reiki, ayahuasca. What was it that got you to the other side, that has gotten you to this point?
I was a bodyguard for Harry. He died of overdose. He was on American Horror Story, and he took me
Right.
to Costa Rica for like 6 months, and he was on his Toad and Bufo and Reiki and ayahuasca, and he was the first person who introduced me to it. I tell my story like this all the time to some people that are in the medicine like that. They don't like the way he introduced it to me, but I didn't have
Yeah.
no problem with it, because I wasn't going to do it if it wasn't forced or tricked on me, because I
Yeah.
was just his bodyguard. But he thought he know I was his friend too. I needed help.
Mhm.
So one night
So
he
you say Harry, who is?
Harry Hines off American Horror Story. If you Google
Oh,
him,
okay, cool.
he was on
Yeah.
he was a big time actor on American Horror Story.
Right.
He ended up committing suicide with
Oh,
drug
shit.
overdose in Los Angeles. Soon as I brought him back from that Costa Rica trip, a week or two later, he took his own life.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it
Shit.
messed me up too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but tell me about your experience there. How did these things help you get to this point that you actually can talk about it?
Just facing my inner child and
Yeah.
meeting JR again at a lower level and understanding what went through, and just uncovering, and it'll never stop. Healing will never stop, because it'll come back. It's dormant, and it's dormant for some time, and it's scary because it's like a ticking time bomb. Anybody can set it off. I still have PTSD, TBI. I still deal with a lot of trauma from losing my friends, but I feel like if I can tell their stories, people can see that, hey, we were the kids that did that type of job over there. Excuse me.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's the important thing, that their stories didn't end with them.
Right. Yeah.
So what was, if we go to a more practical side of things, but what are some of the key lessons that you took with you from the army and your time there?
Leadership, right? So you a
Yeah.
leader first before you make any rank. People think that you make leader because of the title, and the leader
Yeah.
is already inside of you. Ambition is inside of you. Either you have it or either you don't. I done saw people that was in the army 20 years who wasn't a leader, and I done saw people that was in the army 5 years and natural born leaders. So it
Yeah.
taught me how to understand that, and that was
And so
kudos to
what was the difference? What is the difference between the person who can only follow and the one that can lead?
leaders do things when nobody's around, that nobody's watching. Some people
Mhm.
need to fall and told what to do, and they're watching you and observing you, and you're going to do it because you got all eyes on you. But leaders
Yeah.
are the ones where there's no eyeballs in the room, and you still perform like 1,000 people is watching you, and you lead from the front. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still that leader. And that even who I am today, to lead from the front as a motivational speaker, because I learned a long time ago, either you do or you don't. And I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be called out on the carpet for doing something that I'm
Mhm.
not telling somebody else to do. I'm telling them to do it, but I'm not doing it myself.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. It's the exact same lesson I got from Marquise Ogden, who played in the NFL. And
Right.
it's the same thing, doing the work when no one's watching is the difference between those who make it and those who don't.
Hmm. That's
So
it.
coming back, so when you came back, was the first job you had, was that as the bodyguard, or what happened next?
Well, yeah, after I retired out the military, 3 deployments to Iraq and one Afghanistan, started to work on myself, started to figure out something was wrong with me and
Mm.
just address the situation. And when I got out the military, the first job I had was security. It was security in Puerto Rico, the island Puerto Rico in the city of Arecibo. Hurricane Maria had just came through there and tore Puerto
Mm,
Rico up. So they needed security on their electrical plants and Walmarts and things like
right,
that. So they sent us from here to there. And I
right.
saw the weakness in the game. I saw like, dang, they're not really doing it right. So me and my buddy Ranger Remy started a security company and we started to go from there.
Oh, right. Well, tell me about that journey. How was that startup?
Yeah, yeah. We saw the weakness in the game and what needed to be fixed in the security industry. So we took it on and we went global.
What was that? What did you see? What were they doing wrong?
A lot of people pretending. A lot of people never saw combat like us as kids and not facilitate movement and understand structure and tactical things and communication and all these things. But at the end of the day, we learned that. So we wanted to bring that to the
Right,
security industry because a lot of guys that were doing
right,
security never really saw firsthand combat, never saw
right,
how to, first aid. Never saw none of that stuff. They really good at
right,
security, but never been pressured to see this type of stuff. So
right. How was your communication different?
just shoot, move, and communicate. Just understand that hey, I don't care who feelings I hurt. We got to move from point A to point B. That's what we got to do.
Right,
Be safe. You
right.
know.
Getting that true clarity rather than beating around the bush.
Yeah, troop leading procedures. Just basic troop leading procedures. Yep.
Right. And so, what happened when you started the business? How did that go? What was that journey like?
Oh man, it was going really good. Really, really, really good. And we did Rolling Loud. We did EDC. We had a bunch of contracts in the city of Tampa. We had a bunch of bodyguard
Just define, what is EEC?
like a electric, like music. It's like music, like a whole genre of music that they just go there and they rave all night. So
Right.
and it's kind of like
Right. So
wanna
basically, like concerts and raves that you
yeah,
were.
yeah, that we worked, but I had the whole thing, and I had Rolling Loud. I had a bunch of clients. I had Young and Ace. I had the Baby. I had a lot of good celebrities that I was bodyguarding for too.
Right. How many employees did you guys end up having in the company?
400, 1099, 300, and then 100 like W-2. Yeah.
Wow. Well, so to talk about that journey, how was that building the business?
It was good, man. Just trying to put your best foot forward and understand who you are and knowing logistics and security and being that person on the ground that can articulate to the client what we need to do and put your foot down. And that's about it.
Right. So how long were you like an employee in security before you guys started your own business?
Uh like 6 months.
Right.
Like 6 months. Yeah.
So how, because I know we have a lot of listeners who
Yeah.
who are startups and starting businesses. You had no prior experience from the security industry. How
Well,
how did you figure it out?
I did. I had so one of my deployments, I was a bodyguard for my SAR major, and it was
Right.
called personal security detachment. So I knew, I understood. And then when I got out the military, I went to 3 different classes to learn how to do security and bodyguarding. So each class was
Right.
three. One was 3 weeks, one was 50 days, and another one was like 60 days. So yeah, I went through that. Yeah.
Right. So but that gave you the practical knowledge of security.
Yeah.
How did you learn the business side of things?
I, I didn't. That's why I went bankrupt.
Okay.
I didn't. I did, but everybody knows hustling, but no people know no business. So when I
Yeah.
when I failed after COVID, I went to go get my master's in business to understand
Right.
that we can know hustling, but how do you
Yeah.
sustain business?
Right.
You know what I'm
Was
saying?
it COVID that killed the business, or were there problems before that?
No, I was never supposed to be doing that job. God told me a long time ago what I needed to do, and I was ignoring him. So it was a bunch of factors that played into that, and it was me being stubborn and wanting to be here and do what I needed to do.
Right. Well, share for us. What was the key mistake that you felt you were making, like as an entrepreneur?
Hiring people that had potential instead of quality people, right? I wanted to believe in people because it was a veteran-owned company, so I would hire veterans that are struggling, that needed help, and man,
Right.
they couldn't even read a ROI. They couldn't even read. They couldn't understand the return of investment. None of this stuff. They couldn't even
Right.
bill certain clients because they would forget. And that's my bad.
Yeah.
I took full responsibility.
Yeah. So you were basically taking people that you loved and you believed in, and you were putting them just in a position to not be able to succeed.
Yes, yeah.
Right. And so what do you do differently now as an entrepreneur? What did you learn from that?
I don't hire potential. I don't even talk to people that I think I'm not a college scout, so I'm not looking for potential no more. I'm looking for seasoned people that know understand because it's money. Now it's
Yeah.
money on the table, and I lost a lot, and I went, it hurt. And when I went down bankrupt, it resurfaced my PTSD and TBI and almost took my life for the fourth time because it was hard. I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? I tried, I gave my best, and no matter
Yeah.
what, that's
Yeah. Well, what happened there? What was it that made the bankruptcy happen?
just poor judgment on a lot of things and understanding the people that I had wasn't properly looking at my books and
Right.
believing in certain situations that would happen and honestly taking bets that it never came through, people words, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Take me to that day then when you realized that you were going bankrupt. Like what was happening in that moment? Were you sitting with your accountant and you just realized we don't have money, or bring us into that day?
It was April of 2022 and it was just like I knew it was coming. Nothing was coming in, but everything was going out and I had to make the decision.
Uh,
And talking to the guy that I rented the building from, I had a brick and mortar, so I had a schoolhouse, I had everything. It was hard too. I still talk about it this day. Most of my books, I talk about it in my books too. Yeah, yeah.
and what was the process like? What did you do when you realized like this is just not gonna work? What was the first thing?
Just call the guy who rented me the building and say this is my last month here, gotta get out of here, put the stuff in storage and figure things out, and then just started to look at my books with Miss Susie and figure things out and understand that I gotta file for bankruptcy or this is
Mhm.
gonna take me down personally because I'm connected to my business. My name is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so what did you go through then emotionally?
Oh man, cried for days, didn't come out the house, isolated myself, self-medicated myself, like just went through a bunch of things that I was spiraling downhill once again.
Right. That's like loss of identity. And so how did you turn that around? Like how did you get yourself back up again? Because obviously you didn't suicide, right? You're here.
I'm here, yes, yes. Just prayer and belief in God and understanding that I'm here for a bigger purpose. And I had to isolate myself for 6 months, almost 9 months, and
Wow.
just start speaking life into myself. And that's what triggered me to become a motivational speaker because my real gift is my dad's a bishop, both my grandfathers are ministers. I this is what I was supposed to be doing, but I was running away from it. And I started to speak life into myself. And every day I would say, affirmations, meditate, and things like that. And then my pastor told me, hey, put that on social media. And all of a sudden I started to blow up. And now I'm here.
Wow. So walk us through that. What do you do when you, as you say, speak life into yourself?
Yeah. I started to tell myself, like, get up, let's get moving. You're great. You're special. You've done a lot of great things. This is not the be all do all. I was scared to face the music, but I started to face it. And then after I got out the house, the only job that would hire me was my favorite gym to become a janitor. I had a master's degree and nobody would hire me, but God was like, go be a janitor. And I used to read books in the janitor closet after I would sweep and mop
Mm.
bathrooms and the gym floors and just read. And all of a
Mm.
sudden the light started to go off in my head that I'm meant for something special.
Nice. And so then your pastor told you to start posting these things on social media.
Yeah, the
Well,
ones
what happened next?
I started to get noticed. I started to take accountability. I started to say it was my bad, my mess up and push forward and this is what it looks like because everybody posts their success, but nobody posts their failures. So I started
Mhm.
to post my failures and show people it's okay to get in front of your ugly. And that's one of my
Mhm.
stories, is to get in front of your ugly.
Right. Yeah, because you've built an amazing following
Yeah.
on social media, and I know, we're working on the same, and I know a lot of our listeners would love to, have your reach. But what has been the keys for you to grow?
Be organic, be yourself, tell people you're ugly before they Google it. And that was it. Hey,
Yeah,
it's right there at your hand. Let me, he's at, so I would just tell it like, this is what it is. And,
yeah,
I wasn't trying to make a sob story. I'm just saying that, hey, look at this man that fell from grace, but I'm coming back. But I needed to go through all that to become who I am now and the story and to have that glow and understand that, hey, you too, you on the other side of the screen, you can make it too. People that
yeah,
went through the worst of the worst, but we still here. And that's why we keep pushing on. And somebody, some little boy, some little girl, some woman, some man is listening to this and they're gonna feel like, okay, I could do this because look at him, look at the Hood Motivator, you know.
mhm, yeah. And so how did you do your post? Was it literally just you sitting there in front of the camera talking, or was it all the advanced cutting and graphics? Like, how did you do it?
If you go back and see, it was just me, 30 to 60 seconds, just little tips, speaking and
Mhm.
encouragement. And it was for me. And then it
Yeah,
started to be for everybody else. And then everybody else started to get it. I was like, this was just for me. I was just time stamping it, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. It was I did similar back 20 years ago. I started a blog which just was an extension of a team thing we did at the office where I'd give the tip of the day, and then I started that as a blog, and that kind of became part of
Yeah.
this learning journey. So what do you do now? What do you do differently? Because obviously social media has changed in the last few years. So
Yeah.
how do you need to stand out now?
Well, Instagram is instant gratification and it's show and tell. So once you
Mm,
understand the algorithms of different platforms, then all of my money making decisions come from LinkedIn. So I aggressively post on LinkedIn. Instagram just shows to show and tell, hey, look at me. This is what I'm doing. Hooray. But the decision makers are on LinkedIn that'll call you, that'll email you, that want you to show up conference, do this, do that. And then my website is an ecosystem. And I built a brand. I didn't want to just become a speaker. This is my name. No, I wanted my name and my brand to go global. Kids to go in Target, Walmart, get the cartoon character, get the lunch pail, get the pens, get the books, get the clothing, get the speaking. Speaking is just the bottom line of that. But the
yeah,
everything else is my podcast, my merch,
yeah.
my programs, my curriculums, like legacy I'm building. This is who I am. I'm the Hood Motivator when I hop into this avatar right here.
I like that. And so talk about the different functions of the different parts of the social media. As you say, you're showing off, or
Yeah,
that's what Instagram is for, the branding.
yeah.
And then what do you do differently? So what are you posting on Instagram? What are you posting on LinkedIn?
So the same thing I post on LinkedIn is the same thing I post on Instagram. It's just the wording is different and
Mm,
the clientele is different.
mm,
These people in LinkedIn got on business suits and all that. These
mm.
people over here just want to see that the show is done and who was in the crowd and who did you speak for. LinkedIn is like, okay, they connected the dots. Who's who, how you do that. Okay, let me call you and here's your brand right here. So yeah.
Right. And then from there, as you say, you've created this whole ecosystem and even the cartoon character. Where did that come from?
I had to hide it's like Batman, like, Bruce Wayne and then getting into Batman. I had to put myself into an avatar where the Hood Motivator don't feel no emotions. Like you can say whatever you want to say to him. He gonna continue
How
to
did you come up with that? Where did that come from?
um got with a bunch of my friends from California and said, hey, I need a alias of I'm about to do this motivational speaking. And we came up with a bunch of names. And then the final name was the Hood Motivator. Why? Because people would judge you when you say the hood, but not know that I'm way much more than that, but never forgot where I came from. You feel me?
Mm. Yeah. As a why create a cartoon character, and where did the idea for taking not just the alias but actually creating a character around it?
Because the kids would gravitate to it too. Yeah.
Mm,
It's
right.
it the kids and adults would love it. I didn't wanna have just no logo, so the kids don't know what it is, but they see a cartoon, they're not gonna have no question. They're gonna wanna and he's dressed fly, like, it's like, "Who is that kid? Is that a rapper? Is that the" Then when we speak, it's like, "Wow, okay." Then when it goes up to the adult level, it's like, "Genius." Like, "Why did not think of that?" I don't know why.
Right. And then you've built the whole ecosystem around it, like you were
Yeah.
saying with the merch and stuff. How did you put that together?
I just imagining where I see when I go in Walmart and all the cartoon brands and things
Mhm.
that I want to do, and even this, the Legos, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Are
that's
they sold now at like Target and Walmart and stuff?
no, I'm working on all that right now. I got my
Yeah.
cartoons I'm working with. I'm talking to Miss Gracie. All these things. This is where multimillionaires become multimillionaires when they overnight, and their money is making money for them. So it's like
Yeah.
I can speak and that will get my money right away. But if I'm sleeping, my YouTube, my cartoons, my books, my curriculums, my coaching packages, all that is, what I'm saying? That's what it is right
Yeah.
there. I
That's
did it.
generating all the time. Yeah.
Uh,
So how does a negotiation like that look? Like how does creating merch and all that look in a business?
I'm out. Well, so for me, first of all, it's just me wearing it and being comfortable, loving it. And when people ask me, where did you get that from? And then I start getting more people, and I'm like, okay, let me create some t-shirts. Let me put them online. Then I start selling them, and people's like, okay, what do you do this? So now, when negotiates happens, they contact my daughter, which is my manager. She's 25 years
Yeah.
old, and
Nice.
she runs everything from my speaking to life coaching packages to podcast visits to everything I got going on, because you can never stop being a father. When I was
Mm,
in the military, she was 2 years old. So
mm.
she saw me go through all this, and I didn't have enough time to be that father I needed. Now, fast forward, she's my manager, she's the CEO of my brand, and we move forward with this.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
Mhm.
As when you started selling the shirts online, where did you were you using Shopify or another system?
No, I'm using a local mom and pops because I always wanted to put the ball back in their hands, and
Mm.
people would call them, get the link, and order the shirts. And when I first started, I wasn't receiving no profit. I just wanted to see how many shirts was going to be sold. So
Right.
now, yeah, let me see who really like it. And
Yeah.
10 shirts. Okay, now we up to 100. Okay, now we 1,000. Okay, now I talk profit. I need
Mm.
$5 from every shirt because now that's what it is.
Yeah. Now it's starting to hit some volume.
Yep.
And of course that then gives you proof of concept when you're now negotiating these bigger deals that you can prove that there is sale even without their distribution.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Very cool. So how did you land your book deal? Where did that come from?
Well, no, Amazon. So I had paid a bunch of money for my first book, and I was like, I'm in my doctorate. I could do this myself because I keep paying all this money for people to do something that I can learn. And once I learned the system with Amazon and Kindle, that was it. Everything in my head, I write, and then I put it out there. And I was giving my books away for free because I wanted people to understand my knowledge, my inspiration, where I'm coming from. This is who you booking right here, because
Yeah.
books, you know.
Right. That gave you the distribution.
Mhm.
So then now on Amazon, like how did you do that? How did that work?
Just I learned it for a couple of months, and then I started to write my books. And then it's a walkthrough process on Kindle and Amazon. They're gonna walk you through it, and
Yeah.
they self-publish, author, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, walk us through. Like what did you learn like we should be doing and what are the common mistakes that we should avoid?
don't first of all, don't second guess yourself. If you have a book, start writing it, put it out there. Then once you have it in your PDF form, you upload it you get your Kindle account and the Amazon account, you upload it on there, and then it helps you start they give you all the dynamics of every book, what size and dynamic, and they help you edit it. If you went through it, you edited, you got some mistakes, they're gonna help you go through it, look through it, edit, make sure
Is that a person that does it or is it their automatic like AI that does it?
that's the automatic AI. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
wow.
The hardest part is getting a hard copy and making sure your books line up. Once I figured that out, it's like, okay, I can buy 250 books for $800 and sell them at $40 and make $8,000. So,
Right.
yeah.
What do you mean would make them line up? What was
Like, so
going
the
on there?
hard copies, you gotta make sure that because they have their digital square that you can put your hard copy, but it gotta make sure it align and get approved.
Right.
Yeah.
In like the design or what part? Yeah.
Yeah, because you design your own cover, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Uh, right. And so then that's something you do at your like your talks. You'll bring
Yeah.
a pack of books and then you'll sell them from the talk.
I will, yeah, I do. So it's now I know one of my good friends, AD, shout out to him. He was telling me how to order in bulk on Amazon and Kindle. And once I figured that out and get everything
Oh,
situated, he was telling me his revenue. I was like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna start doing.
right. So you get a much lower price per book because you're ordering in bulk?
Yes, and I get 250 and order. They probably appear to be like $800, $900, but sell them for $40 with a signed copy. You make 8 grand.
Right, right,
Yeah,
and it's huge value for the client because they get their signed copy, they've gotten to
right,
connect with you, so
right,
it's not like you're making profit off of their loss, it's a
right.
win-win.
It's a win-win. Yeah, definitely. And they get to see me, take a picture with me, all that stuff. So yeah.
Right, nice. As those speaking engagements, how have you been able to line up so many talks? Like, how does that come about for you?
I spoke for free for 4 years, putting my rhetoric out there, my best. I don't care if it's one person in the crowd or 1,000. I'm gonna speak the
Mm,
same passion, and that's what blew up. Was people don't understand content is king. So
yeah,
once you get on these stages, yeah, I do it. You do it free, I do it, I do it. And I started to promote myself. People's like, same question, how are you? Because I'm doing the things that you guys don't want to do, and I'm
yeah,
creating my value. So now that my value is created, now when you come to me after 4 years, you can't shortchange me because you done seen 300 shows I done. You done
mhm,
seen my resume. You done seen me with all these degrees, my military. Why are you trying to shortchange me? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
yeah,
Now the ball is in my court if I want to do it or not. Pro bono for the kids and certain things, but certain organizations, I know how y'all get paid. I know that, you know what I'm saying, a sponsor comes in and all these grants and all this stuff. Pay me what I'm worth.
right, and how much are you getting from referrals, and how much is coming from the fact that you do have a big social media now?
No referrals. People will contact my website or my daughter, and there it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right, so it's really coming from the organic work you're doing to get your message out.
Yeah, and then every day I do some cold calling on LinkedIn. So if you pay attention to my LinkedIn, I dropped your name this morning, three or
Oh,
four,
yeah, yeah, I saw that, thank you.
3 or 4 times we'll post and tell you exactly what we're doing. We're doing the things other speakers don't want to do, and I'm baffled because I see people getting booked and monies and all that, or people talking about you a speaker and your title, but I never see you speak. So, and that's the
Mm,
world we live in. We see people teaching mastery courses, but are not masters of nothing, or
right.
how to become a millionaire, but still live in an apartment. I don't understand that. I'm a speaker. When you come to my page, you're going to see, you can come to my YouTube, you're going to see me clips from speaking behind the desk, on the stage, because right now you have these Instagram speakers where they got their camera and they got their mic, but you never see them on the stage.
Mm,
Understand your stage is your phone, but get on a real stage. Let's get it
yeah,
like, because that's the difference. I bring the crowd alive. That's what you're going to get with me.
I love it. Alright, let's do our rapid fire round, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Alright, my man. Alright, here we go. One mindset that holds people back.
Fear,
Fear. What is one important discipline habit?
consistency,
Consistency. One common mistake people make after failure.
hiding
Mm. What is one truth about resilience?
is potent.
Mm.
So potent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One definition of success.
Grace.
Grace. I like
Yeah.
it.
Grace.
All right. So, how can we connect with you? How can we keep learning from you? This was awesome.
It's just what we do here. You know, I told you before we started, I'm the new generation, new wave. I'm claiming that of speakers that are coming in and learning from the Zig Ziglars, the Eric Thomas, the Les Browns, the Grant Cardons. I have took a bunch from them, from my father, from everybody, and this is who I am. I'm a student of the game. I've been waiting, I've been watching, and it's my time. And this is what we're doing right here. And I have a lot of investors coming to me now and they ask me like, how were you able to, you know what I'm saying, put all this stuff together? First of all, I know business, I failed, but I know where I want to be at. So you don't need to come and reconstruct what I'm doing. Just take what we got and let's push it forward. That's it.
Nice. So, you'll give us a link. We'll share that in the show notes so
Yeah,
that we can connect with you and keep learning from you. Dude,
definitely.
I am so happy you were here. Thank you so much for joining us. Any final words of wisdom before we let you go?
Yeah, to everybody that's out there watching, you know, everybody knows me, the Hood Motivator. If you don't, thank you for, you know what I'm saying, allowing me to come into your algorithm. I'm proud of you. I love you. You're special. Do not give up. Keep going. And thank you for this podcast, Swedish podcast, just bringing me on here and believing in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm humbled. It's 10 o'clock over here in the morning in Florida. So I know it's late over there where you at. So I appreciate you.
Right back at you, my man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. I love this ending part of these episodes where me and the Swedish Wealth Institute team have broken down the interview and tried to answer the question, what is the difference that makes the difference? We took 5 lessons from this episode. I'd love to hear yours, though, if you want to comment and share in the comment section on YouTube or in the Swedish Wealth Institute community. That would be amazing. So 1, real leadership happens when no one is watching. So this has come up multiple times in episodes. Leadership is not a title. It's not a uniform. It's what you do when no one is looking. It's where you set your standard. Number 2, you can know how to hustle and still not know how to run a business. So this was one of the most important business lessons in this episode. JayR built a legitimate company with contracts, people, momentum, but there is a difference between hustling and building a sustainable business. Hustle can get things moving, but you need systems, quality people, and real business discipline to keep it alive. Number 3, don't hire potential when the role requires quality. This really landed with me and is one of the hardest lessons I think for us to take from this episode is you want to believe in people. And JayR wanted to help other veterans. That is beautiful. But what he did was he put people in roles they weren't ready for. And when you do that, you can hurt them, you can hurt the company, and in the end, you hurt yourself. Compassion is key. You need to match it with standards. Number 4, failure gets heavier when you hide it. So JayR said that one of the biggest mistakes people make after failure is hiding. And I've seen this with so many coaches and speakers is they want to be the expert. They want to be the ones who know everything. But for JayR, he spoke about bankruptcy, PTSD, mistakes, rebuilding. That became his message, not a sob story. Proof. Sometimes the thing you're most ashamed of is what everyone else needs to hear for them to keep growing and for them to connect with your message. Number 5, your story can become an ecosystem, not just a message. This I absolutely loved about JayR. He's not just a speaker. He's building a brand, books, coaching, merchandise, a cartoon character, a podcast, and a legacy. This is important for us because as entrepreneurs, we're telling a story. We're sharing a message. We need to build the message into assets. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And as you know, I love giving gifts. So I have a gift for you before you go. I would love to give you 2 weeks free access to the Swedish Wealth Institute community where you can share with people all over the world what you learned in this episode and discuss other episodes and of course connect with people from all over the world. What we try to do in the community is help you figure out where are you now, where are you going, and what is your number 1 limiting factor. Our system helps you connect with the right way to overcome that limiting factor, whether that's an accountability buddy or a course in the course catalog, which features trainings from Jack Canfield, Dr. John DeMartini, and so many more. So I'd love to connect with you there and hear your thoughts. So you find the link in the show notes. You can claim your 2 weeks free access. You'll fill out your details, your credit card. We won't bill you for 2 weeks. And if you want to cancel, that's completely okay. You just send us an email. Again, thank you for being here. I hope you follow the podcast just like thousands of people have done all over the world. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode and have enjoyed others, please feel free to give us a 5-star review. And if you know someone who might need this episode, please share it with them. Tell the story. Share the link. Next week is going to be really cool. We're going to do something a little different. And it's something I've looked forward to doing since we started the Swedish Wealth Institute podcast. Honestly, my favorite type of podcast is not the interview. Like when I'm listening to podcasts, it's not generally interviews. It's the chronological story of a company, a person, an empire. And so we are going to start doing the same here occasionally. And we're going to start with one of the most iconic companies in history, Nike. We're going to do an in-depth multi-episode arc about the journey of Nike and its founder, Phil Knight. So we're going to look at the challenges, the setbacks, who he was, why he succeeded, the risks he took, the multiple near failures, and how incredible the journey he went on, getting thrown out by 2 banks and still building the iconic company Nike. So next week, we are going to start that journey together, and I hope I see you there because it's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm Daniel Wood. This is the Swedish Wealth Institute Podcast, and thank you once again for joining us.